Hello there. We are live, and I got some light shiny in my glasses here, so let me kind of move that around a little bit. Okay, I think that's a little better. Okay, so we are here today to talk about embracing the power of recommitment and reflection, or should I say reflection and recommitment? But one way or another, I am here with this training. My name is Janet Clark, and I am the CEO and founder of The Freedom Shift. So it would stand to reason that the reason why I created my business is to create a life of freedom. And so a lot of these trainings that I do have to do with helping you to also create the life of freedom that you are looking for and seeking in your business. So I'm going to, talk today a little bit about how you can make your difference in the world, because really why we started our businesses in the first place is because we truly want to make an impact. And so we're going to be talking a lot today about the why. Like, why are you in business? Why did you start your business? And is it serving the greater good for the purpose that you actually started it? And so for those of you who know me, you know that my expertise is in selling high ticket programs and enrolling people in these high ticket offers. And so a lot of times the training that I do has a lot to do with making money, right? Increasing sales and bringing in more revenue. And so that is, of course, extremely important. But there's something more than just making money to our purpose for being an entrepreneur. And so I want to shift gears a little bit today, and I want to talk about the other aspects of creating this freedom that we want in our business. So if we look at the three areas that we typically talk about when we talk about creating a freedom shift, it's financial freedom, time freedom, and lifestyle freedom. So today we're going to focus on this time and lifestyle. And what does that really mean? So let's see. So I want to start by telling you a little story. So this story relates to when I first started the Freedom Shift. And it goes back about 5 years ago when I first decided that I was going to launch this business and work with entrepreneurs. So the first thing that I did was I found a coach who I respected and somebody that I felt would be a good mentor for me. And I joined her group coaching program. Now, in this group coaching program, I pretty much was taught how to build my business from scratch using her strategy for building the business, which was fine. At that point, I was not too clear on exactly how I wanted my own business to look. So it was helpful that I was following somebody else's kind of direction. So what happened was I ended up building the business up to a point where I had about 20 clients, and those clients were each paying me $500 a month. So I was pretty much on track to have a six-figure business. And so for all intents and purposes, that looked like I had done a great thing in that first year of creating the business and following her process. But I have to tell you that there was a moment in time when I literally woke up one morning and I just realized that I hate this business. Like, I hate what I have created. I don't enjoy the work. I was working with the wrong clients. I had the wrong offer. And I just was not doing something that I felt was making a contribution to my highest good or the highest work that I could be doing in the world. So all of a sudden, I felt like I was scrambling for what should I do, right? Like, what do I do now? And so I ended up that I really phased out that aspect of the business. And I was kind of, as I said, scrambling around in my mind, well, what do I do? And it was really, I felt like I was in this kind of hell. And in a way, I felt like I had failed because I recognized that, okay, I'm at a stage in my evolution, in my business, where it's not really all about just making money. Because there's a lot of ways that I had made money in the past in my corporate life. And so the reason I started the business, yes, of course I want to make money. I mean, nobody goes into business and doesn't want to make money, but it was bigger than that. Because if it was only about money, why would I be going through all of the stress and expense and, um, hard times that it is to actually build a business? I mean, it's challenging to build a business, right? So there's got to be a bigger reason for why we do it. So I came to realize that, I have this greater purpose, which is to be a change agent. And I really do want to make a difference in the world, and I want to make an impact. And I know after talking with thousands of entrepreneurs, and whether you're a salesperson or whether you're an entrepreneur, who's a coach or a consultant or a service provider, you have some sort of a calling. And the reason why you're doing this independent thing as an entrepreneur is because there's something bigger that you're trying to accomplish in the world. So at that moment, I really didn't know how was I going to fix this. However, as what typically happens in the universe, I ended up at a live event, and there was a speaker there. His name was Russ Whitney. Some of you may have heard of him. And he was talking about a program that he had recently launched, which was called Inner Voice. Now, what excited me about Inner Voice is that it was a program designed to help entrepreneurs who wanted to create a business with also aligning that business with their inner voice, right? Their inner essence and their purpose or their soul or their spiritual quest, or whatever way that you would want to describe that. And so I knew as soon as I heard Russ speaking that that was the coach, that was the program that I wanted to be in. And so I made another really hard, tough decision to go and invest, because of course the program was more than I felt I could afford, which is pretty much typical of us as entrepreneurs, right? We always want to stretch and go to the next level, and it's always more than we really can afford. But anyway, I made that leap, took that leap of faith, and I decided that I was going to get involved with that program. And so I started working with a coach in Inner Voice. And that really helped me in a lot of ways to create and evolve into where I am today. Now, what's interesting is that has been an evolution. So I don't know where you are in your business right now. And that's why it's always important to do this reflecting and connecting, reconnecting and reevaluating and reestablishing where you are, because we do evolve, and it's never exactly the way we think it's going to be. And so I'm going to talk to you today, and I'm going to teach you what I've learned through this process. So let me grab my notes here so that I make sure that I can do this in the order that I want to talk to you about. So, okay, so I made the investment, and I started working with my new mentor. And the things that we were focusing on, and these are things that you would probably want to write down also as you go into this mode of reflection. It's really who am I? Who am I, not just from the egoic point of view, but who am I really, in my case, as a soul, or you may say as an essential self, like what's my purpose here? And, that leads to the next question, which is, why am I here? So who am I and why am I here? And what are my true gifts? And that's really important because if you build a business and you're not utilizing the talents, the strengths, and the gifts that are part of you, then you're going to be working a lot harder than you need to, right? So we want to be working in alignment with what we're really good at. So, what are my true gifts? And how do I want to show up and serve? And again, that's another really important question because there's a lot of things we come to a stage in our life, there are a lot of ways we could offer our services, but how do we really want to do that? And so I was really good at managing people and coordinating and project managing and that sort of thing, which is what I kind of was doing in my first iteration of my business, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. Right? I didn't really want to be managing projects for people, even though I knew how to do that. And then, where do I want to focus my energies? So as I was working through that process, it was really good because I was able to get really some good feedback from this mentor that I was working with. And so as I went through this process of reflection and recommitting to what do I want to build next, I was actually able to get in alignment with what I want my personal, what my personal mission is so that my business and my personal mission were actually in alignment. And that sounds easy, but I'm going to be honest with you, it was tough because a lot of people in this world, for some reason, don't believe that your personal and your work can come into alignment. So people believe there should be a separation, like, well, your personal and spiritual and, the things that you do to feed your soul are over here. And what you do in your business is over here. And when you're working, you're not worried about it. And, then when you're done work, then you can go and talk about your spiritual stuff, which for me, I was resisting that a lot. It was like, no, it has to be in alignment. Somehow I have to create something that really makes me feel like I'm serving my higher power and I'm serving my purpose and making my impact while I'm also making my livelihood and my living and creating wealth. So that was me. That was important to me. So I knew that I needed to create something that would allow me to make an impact and that would utilize my unique gifts and talents, the things that I really enjoyed doing, and also would create the life of freedom that I truly desired. And let me tell you something. It's been great on one hand because the business, when I look back now, I see how it has evolved. But the truth of the matter is, it has not been a piece of cake. So for all of you who are out there and you're struggling, no matter where you are, if you're at a point now where you can look back and you can say, oh yeah, I've been through the bumpy roads and I see that I've, reached a new level, that's great. But if you're maybe a little bit newer and you're still trying to find your way and you're feeling kind of lost in the weeds, then just take heart in knowing that that is normal. It is normal. And so the part that we're talking about today is to be able to allow yourself, and I'm going to teach you the methods to do that, to actually take the time to stop a little bit and to do this reflection and then to recommit. Okay, so success literally cannot be created overnight, right? It is a journey. And it does take patience and it does take perseverance. But I can attest to the fact that you can create a business that you truly love. And so let's talk about some of the things that I have learned about entrepreneurship. So I kind of want to go through these 5 things. And this isn't all of it. It's not totally comprehensive, but it will give you some idea of some of the things that you could expect as an entrepreneur. So because I've been through it myself and because I network with so many entrepreneurs and because my work brings me in contact with entrepreneurs and I've talked to thousands of them, I can pretty much tell you that these things are across the board to truths. So the first is that it is totally normal to experience frustration and angst in both our lives, which we all know that because we've all had those moments in our lives, but also in our business as it evolves. So when you have those moments, that is normal. The second thing is that when you find yourself in a predicament, right? You're in a situation where things just are not feeling right. Your heart, your soul, your mind, your emotions, everything is not in alignment. Then it is really, really important to allow yourself the space and the time to reflect on that and to figure out what outcome you truly want. So you don't always know the exact way out, but if you can get a sense for what you want the outcome to look like, then you can figure out what steps to take to get there. And I'm going to be talking about that in a couple of minutes too. I'm going to give you some steps. The third thing I've learned is that your business should absolutely reflect your personality, the essence of who you are. And in order for you to feel successful, it should not be somebody else's vision or dream or thought about what your business should look like. And, very often as I've gone through the evolution of my business and I've had different people working with me and for me and mentoring me, I've had to resist other people telling me what I should do or how it should look because, hey, I'm the CEO. This is the business I am creating. And so even though there are certain things that other people believe a business should be like, it's very important to stay true to yourself. If you don't like the way something is unfolding, then you have to fix it. You have to address it. Even if you don't really know how to fix it, you have to be okay with saying, no, this is not the way I want it to go. And it's not always easy, believe me. Okay, the fourth thing is that being an entrepreneur is not just about making money. So I alluded to this earlier. I stated it. I didn't allude to it. I actually said it, right? It's not just about making money, because if it was only about making money, there might be easier ways to make money than being an entrepreneur, right? It's about making a difference, making your impact, fully being yourself, and also being able to turn your life purpose into your livelihood. That to me is what entrepreneurship is. And finally, you will feel fulfilled when you are touching the lives of other people and helping them to make their dreams into a reality. So because I am addressing you as a salesperson, a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, we know we are the transformational people, right? We're leading this movement of transformation in this new transformational economy. And so the only way you are going to feel fulfilled is if you feel that you are making a difference in other people's lives. So keeping that in mind, as you are reflecting and recommitting to what you want to do with your business, it's important to recognize that if you're not feeling like you're actually like what happened to me, like, yes, I was serving these clients, I was offering them something they needed, but it wasn't something that was helping them reach their dreams, or it didn't make me feel like I was fulfilling my bigger purpose. So let's talk about the steps. Now, I'm going to go through some steps that you can take that will really help you to do this reflection and then come up with the recommitment to your own business. And it doesn't really matter where you are along the path. So maybe you're at the point where you're just trying to get to your first 6 figures, or maybe you're fully at 6 figures and you're now at the point where you want to grow to 7, or you're at 7, you want to grow to 8. It doesn't matter. At every stage of growing our business, we want to take this time to reflect and to recommit to the path that we're on. So Most important thing is not to start going down paths that are going to be slippery slopes where we don't want to be. So let's talk about what these steps are. The first, and I bring this up on every training, is you must have a trusted advisor. You have to have somebody who you can open up to and you can share and get advice from. And when I say advice, I don't mean somebody who's going to tell you what to do, but is going to be able to really help you, or as I call it, stand in the fire with you, to kind of get over your emotions. So if you are, this first part about the trusted advisor is like, it is so crucial for you to acknowledge your emotions with a trusted advisor. So it's really, really easy when you are by yourself to become super critical of yourself and to feel like you shouldn't have these emotions that you're having about your business. And so you tend to want to suppress them. And so I did that a little bit in the beginning. Like, well, I should be doing it this way. I should be happy. I'm making the money, right? When in fact, I was out of alignment and I didn't feel good about it, right? If something is off with you and your business and you're not feeling the alignment, if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling like you've created a monster, like I did, right? The business from hell, then it is really important for you not to push those feelings aside, but to actually share them with somebody, right? So we tend to want to just look on the bright side and see what's right sometimes. But when those feelings are getting suppressed, those feelings of feeling like, oh my God, this isn't making me feel happy. This really isn't the business that I dreamed I wanted to create. I don't have the life I want. I'm buried in my business. Whatever it is really important to have somebody that you trust that you can share that with. I have a saying, I didn't make it up, but I adopted it and I like it. And it is, you should never go into your own head alone because it's a dangerous neighborhood. And so I like to caution entrepreneurs, but it's true for everybody. We all have these naysaying voices, right? We have those little voices in our head, and sometimes they're voices from our childhood, and sometimes they're voices we've accumulated over the years from teachers or bosses or people that have told us we're useless and we suck and we're terrible and we're going to fail and whatever, or just we're hard on ourselves. And so it is really important that you do not try to do this reflection by yourself, right? It's extremely helpful to have somebody who can see you in the light of day, because when you're in your own head, you can't. Or as my friend Samantha Hartley says, like, you can't, if you're inside the Coke bottle, you can't read the label. So make sure that you have a trusted advisor and that you acknowledge how you're feeling about your business. So that's the first really key step in this reflection process. The second is just be willing and open to learn from your mistakes. And so the truth is that starting a business is really taking you on a road of a series of mistakes, because that's the truth about what's going to happen, right? You're going to stumble, you're going to need to be redirected, and you're going to also have some lucky breaks along the way. So it's not a well-defined path that if you do X, Y, and Z, everything's going to be smooth sailing. Just like if you were literally on a sailboat, right? You don't know when the surf is going to get wild and the thunder is going to come and, all of a sudden some shark's going to jump up in the boat. I don't know. But here's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns. And it's the same thing when you're embarking on your business. So recognizing that learning from your mistakes is really how you succeed. And so that means that mistakes are expected And so you don't get, you don't let them derail you. So the third thing is stop comparing yourself to other people. And this is really, really hard. And it's been a really hard lesson for me because so many times I'm in, particularly in that first group program that I was in. And I wanted to be like one of the star performers, and I wanted to get the 6 figures fast and whatever. But, I didn't realize at the time that some of those people that were in that group program, they had already been in their business for 2, 3, 5 years. And I was brand new into my business. And a lot of those people had already been through some of the struggles that I hadn't been through, and they had made the mistakes, and they had one-on-one mentors. I didn't have any of that, right? I was brand new. So it's a trap that we tend to fall in when we start looking around at other people and we start thinking that they're doing better than us or we should be equal to them. Sometimes I find out, geez, why can't I be as good as that person? Why has that person got the 7-figure business and I haven't got to that 7 figures yet? And then I realize, well, that person's been in business for 10 years, right? That's a whole longer journey than I've been on. So naturally, they've persevered and been through a lot more, and now they're at a higher level. And sometimes just because somebody is there at that higher level of revenue doesn't necessarily mean that they're any more profitable than you may be in your business. So you cannot compare yourself with other people because you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes in their business. So the thing that's great about being in business is recognizing that you are building something totally unique. Like there is no comparison because it's never been done before. You're doing it. You're creating it. It's all about your life, your purpose, your talents, your gifts, your strengths. So it's unique. So there is nothing to compare it to, right? All you can do is say, hey, is it ahead of where I was a year ago, right? Am I moving forward? Am I learning from my mistakes? Am I keeping it in alignment so that I feel good about it? So that's crucial in this process. The next thing is to have a belief within you that your business cannot fail. And the reason is just what I just said. It can't fail because it's unique and you are co-creating it with God or the universe or whatever higher power you believe in. But it's your creation. So whatever it is, it's good. And it's going to keep evolving and growing as long as you continue to take the time to reassess where you are, right? To do this reflection and then to recommit to continue growing. So that's a cool thing. Oh, how did this piece of paper get turned upside down? Okay. And then fourth, or finally, I don't think it's fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess that's the fifth thing. Believe me, this is not comprehensive. These are just some steps that you can take. But the fifth step that I feel is extremely important and has been total game changer for me is learning how to meditate. If you meditate and you connect in with your essential self, you are going to start to realize that you literally are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You're not really your successes and you're not your failures. Those things are all outside of you. And so at your core, you are a divine being who is having a human experience. And every time that you can tap into that and recognize that you're good and wonderful and awesome and loved just because you are you, and that's okay, right? That's the place where you're coming from. And the business is something that you're doing that's outside of you. And all you really are trying to do is make it in alignment so that you feel that your business is the vehicle that is serving your soul. It's the vehicle that's allowing you to go out there and make an impact in the world and actually to do the work that you were put here to do. So these are just a few of the steps that I would recommend that you take to embrace the power of reflection and recommitting to yourself, to your business as an entrepreneur. And just remember to ask yourself the most important question, which is, why do I want to do this? Because you did not go into entrepreneurship just to make money. You went into entrepreneurship to create a life of freedom that allows you to have a lifestyle that's in alignment with who you really want to be. And that you would be able to do that work on your own time, in your own way. So that is really the reflection piece of it, is to get really clear. And again, meditation is really a good way to do that. So remember that when you ask yourself good questions, you will get good answers, and your self-reflection will ultimately allow you to stay on the path, the right path for you. And if you have to pivot or, take a little detour or go in a little different direction, nothing that you've done so far means that it was wrong. It's got you to this point, so you just carry on. And that's all success. That's what success really is. So, look, an entrepreneur needs other entrepreneurs. So my mentor, I think this came from Nick Peterson, an entrepreneur, or maybe Jeff Moore, he says, an entrepreneur alone is an entrepreneur at risk. So if you are out there and you are trying to figure this out by yourself, you're buying courses or you're in some group program where you're not getting that one-on-one trusted advisor mentorship, then I would reconsider that. And if you just want someone to talk to, somebody that can relate to where you are, whatever, always feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me through Messenger. You can reach me through email, janet@thefreedomshift.com. And I would love to chat with you. So this is all about collaboration. This is all about support and helping one another. And because I spend a lot of money in my own professional development, belonging to networks with high-level people and high-value people, I can always refer you to the right person that can really help you to get to the next level wherever you are. So I'm happy to do that. So I look at part of my gift is that I am a great connector. I do know a lot of people, and I do have a lot of resources available to kind of steer people in the right direction. So that's my offer to you. And that's it. Shoot me a message anytime. I will be back next week, same time, same place, God willing, with another training. And in the meantime, I hope that you have the amazing opportunity to sit down, take some time to acknowledge where you are, do a little bit of reflection and recommit and make the next month, week, year awesome. So thanks for being here, and we'll be back to see you again and chat with you again next week. So bye for now.